We are here at the ITC Global Transformers Gala talking with one of the honorees, Dr. Deborah Prothro-Stith. I am so happy to be able to talk to you this evening. Welcome.
Thank you very much. What a pleasure to be here.
And you are being honored tonight as one of the global transformers, and you're in the field, the medical field. Could you share just a little bit about why you're receiving this award and what your words have put into action?
Sure. I think I am one of the health professionals, I'm a physician, who started looking at this problem of violence as a health problem and saying that it was just not enough to stitch kids up in the emergency rooms and send them out or expel them from school over and over again, or watch them get into trouble again and again without responding, without doing something to prevent the future episodes and doing something to help. And, you know, as a physician, I was trained to really prevent most of what I was also trained to treat. So if someone had heart disease, I was trained to harass them about exercise and diet and smoking. And if a kid was lead poisoned, I couldn't let that child leave the hospital before I knew the house was de-leaded. So it just struck me that we were stitching people up and sending them out, and there was no prevention agenda. And the more I thought about it and asked, and this was 30 years ago, but I realized that it was really because we didn't think it was preventable. We thought of it as a criminal justice problem, and so we didn't think anything more. As a society, we just felt like, okay, there's some bad kids, and when they misbehave, we just have to punish them. And without really appreciating that most of the kids who are doing things they shouldn't be doing, including violence, are hurt kids. We say it's hurt kids who hurt themselves or other kids. And so really appreciating that, I found a few others in the country, and we just started a whole movement to look at violence as a health problem, not just as a criminal justice problem.
And when you look at violence as a health problem and you look for preventable solutions, those include like housing and shelter.
It's the full spectrum, but it also includes housing, shelter, job opportunities, economic development, all of that. But it also includes looking at our attitudes and social norms. So I use cigarette smoking as an analogy sometimes, because if we were trying to prevent lung cancer, we would do more than just treat lung cancer. We would help people who smoke stop, and we would keep people who don't smoke from starting, because we used to think smoking was glamorous and all the beautiful people on television. I used to buy those little candy cigarettes, and I used to imitate all the people on television. And now it's offensive. It's unhealthy. We know that. And people are standing outside in snowstorms in Boston smoking because they are in a smoke-free work setting. That's attitudes and social norms. And right now with violence, we've got some bad attitudes, and we teach them to our kids. We say things like, you go back out there and you beat him up, or I'm gonna beat you. And in our movies and in our television, those are parents and, friends certainly, you gonna let him talk to you like that? What you gonna do about that, And then you look at the movies, violence is solving problems, and superheroes never get hurt. It's just the bad people who wind up dying or hurt badly. So it's just this hype about violence. It's a cultural, almost marketing of violence. And we're not just marketing it to boys, which we've been doing for centuries, but probably for about 3 decades now, we've been marketing it to girls too. And so their behavior has included some of this violent behavior. So we said, it takes a toll on life and limb. It's not just stranger bad guy violence. A lot of it is people who know each other. And that's whether we're talking about rape, assault, homicide. And we said, you know what? we've changed attitudes about smoking. We've changed attitudes about drunk driving. And maybe we can change attitudes about violence. So that was really, let's get into the classroom. Let's start training teachers and coaches. Let's challenge some of what's on the media. Let's see if we can't get kids involved and leading some of these efforts. And some cities have had real successes. Others are still working on it. And we're actually at one of the lower points we've had as a country in a long, long time. So that's kind of the good news of it.
Violence is finally at a lower point. Well, Dr. Deborah, I can definitely see why you've been chosen as one of the ITC Global Transformers. You're definitely deserving of this award. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I am honored.
We are here at the ITC Global Gala, Transformers Gala, talking with another one of the honorees, Sister Simone Campbell from the group Nuns on the Bus. Sister Simone, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's really an honor to be here, and it's great to receive this honor.
Congratulations on receiving this honor. And one of the reasons that you're being honored tonight is you are the nun who wrote the letter that is credited with the passing of the Affordable Care Act. How did the idea to write that letter come to you, and what do you think drove those words?
Well, actually, it's good that we're here, but the thing that caused the letter to be written was that I was in prayer thinking, what else can we do? And we often do what are called sign-on letters. And so it came into my head. I was supposed to be meditating, but into my head pops a sign-on letter. I jump up from my prayer bench, head to the computer, and start writing a letter that I shared with my other sisters who are leaders of their congregations. So I say it's really the Holy Spirit's fault. But what happened was I sent the letter out to my sisters, various friends, to be signed on a Sunday. It was on Monday that our Catholic bishops came out opposing the bill, but on Wednesday we circulated the letter, and I said we could go public if we had 20 signers. But 59 leaders of Catholic sisters communities signed on, in spite of the bishops having said no. The bishops got bad information, but my sisters knew what was true, and because of that, we got the bill passed.
So a letter that you think was divined from God.
Well, I hope so. But it came to me in prayer in terms of what can we do to support this bill.
Now, why were you so focused, though, on the healthcare bill? Because there's a lot going on that you might have been asking for divine intervention. Why the healthcare bill? Why was that so on your mind?
Well, our organization, Network, which sponsors Nuns on the Bus and is the organization I head, we've worked for 45 years for the needs of those who are at the economic margins of our society. And one of the biggest issues that we face is the lack of access to health care. And our organization, from the very founding, had been working on getting health care for all. So every time it came up in Congress, we would be working on it. And this time it finally got through. We didn't get it for everyone, but we got a huge step forward. So it's in our DNA as an organization to work on this issue, but we also know that the healthcare is not just a question of coverage, it's also a question of access to medical care. It's the question of being able to have enough food in your house to have good nourishment. So we work on all of that aspect of what it really takes to create a healthy community, but this was one big step forward.
It was one big step forward, and we're in an election year. People are voting again. I think there's no way it can ever go away, but I know it needs to be made better. What are some of the things that the Nun on the Bus group is advocating for making ACA even better?
Well, there needs to be more competition on the exchanges. The insurance companies still have too much control. And there was another proposal that didn't get into the final bill where people could buy into Medicare so that it was what we call a public option, where you could buy Medicare at an earlier age and be a part of it, be a part of an integrated system. It seriously reduces cost and increases competition. The other thing is making sure that physicians, family physicians, and nurse practitioners practitioners are adequately trained and reimbursed for service. We need more professionals. And the other piece that's really challenging is in the Affordable Care Act is what we call parity, where mental health issues are considered the same as physical health issues because they go together. And but we don't have enough practitioners. We were in Bloomington, Illinois, and discovered there is not a single child therapist in Bloomington, Illinois. And this mom needs to take her 4-year-old clear up to Chicago because the 4-year-old has been traumatized by seeing some violence in his neighborhood. He stopped talking, but she has no help for him because we don't have enough therapists available. So she's got insurance, but she still doesn't have access. So we're working on those specific issues of trying to improve it, make it better, and take another step forward.
Well, Sister Simone, I think you've done very well. You have done good, and I am definitely clear as to why you are one of the global transformers being honored tonight. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. It's an honor to do it. It's always amazing to get an award. I just do the work and love it. Thank you.
We're here at the ITC Global Transformers Gala, and one of the honorees is Susan Taylor. Susan, welcome.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
And most of us know you as the editor of Essence, but you did a lot before Essence, and you're doing a lot of things now. Could you share some of the things that you're working on?
Well, Essence Cares, I started when I was at Essence, gave birth to the National Cares Mentoring Movement. And the National Cares Mentoring Movement actually was founded at the awards, but the system was developed here in Atlanta by Tommy Dortch and Tracy Knight. So what we do is we recruit mentors, we connect with them, we inspire them, and then we deploy them to where they're needed. Boys and girls clubs, big brothers, big sisters, schools that are underserved and under-resourced. And what we're trying to do is really elevate our young people. So it's a mentoring movement, and we're building high transformational programs in pilot cities that we're going to replicate throughout the nation. We're going to get our children.
And mentoring is so important for all children to have someone to go to. Why, though, did you choose mentoring for Essence Cares?
You know, it was after Katrina, and I said, what could we do at the Essence Music Festival? We just can't come back to the festival and have a big old party. We had a purpose, but I thought we needed to deepen it. And when I asked myself, what could I ask the 500,000 people who come to do? It was easy to, come to an answer. We can ask them to go back to their respective cities and really mentor our vulnerable children who are sinking in poverty and in schools that are under-resourced and don't serve them well. But I realized that we needed an infrastructure, and that gave birth to the National Cares Mentoring Movement.
Well, Susan, clearly we understand why you are one of the ITC's global transformers. Thanks so much for sharing a little bit for our viewers.
Oh, thank you so much for asking me to, and I'm just honored to be here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.